African Union Communications. Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals, intelligence, and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command and combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation as of May 20th, 2026, the armed forces of the Russian Federation continue the special military operation. The North Group of Forces improved the tactical situation and inflicted fire damage on manpower and hardware of a mechanized brigade, an air assault brigade, an assault regiment of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, and two territorial defense brigades close to Bachevsk, Bunyakino, Velikaya Pisarevka, Degtiarnoye, and Khotin in the Sumy region. In Kharkiv region, strikes were launched at formations of three mechanized brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and a territorial defense brigade close to Bely Kolodez, Izbitskoye, Ryasnoye, and Staritsa in the Kharkiv region. The enemy lost up to 165 troops, 2 armored fighting vehicles, 14 motor vehicles, and 3 electronic warfare stations. The West Group of Forces took more advantageous lines and positions. Losses were inflicted on manpower and military hardware of 5 mechanized brigades, an assault brigade, an airmobile brigade, and 2 territorial defense brigades near Podliman, Shikovka in the Kharkiv region, Krasny Liman, Prishib, Sidorovo, and Tatyanovka in the Donetsk People's Republic. The armed forces of Ukraine losses amounted to up to 180 troops, a tank, a M113 armored personnel carrier, a US-made HMMWV armored vehicle, 3 field artillery guns, including a US-made 155mm M777 howitzer, a Paladin self-propelled artillery system, 20 motor vehicles, and an electronic reconnaissance station. The South Group's units improved the situation along the front line. Russian troops hit units of 3 mechanized brigades, a motorized infantry brigade, a mountain assault brigade, and an airmobile brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine near Druzhkovka, Konstantinovka, Kramatorsk, Malinovka, Nikolaevka, Orekhovatka, and Ray Alexandrovka in the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy lost up to 100 troops, 1 German-made Leopard tank, 1 Kazakh armored fighting vehicle, 14 motor vehicles, 3 artillery guns, and 1 radar station. The center group's elements took more advantageous lines and positions. They hit manpower and military hardware of a mechanized brigade, an assault brigade, an airmobile brigade, an assault regiment, UAV battalion, 2 Marine brigades, the Azov Special Brigade, and 3 National Guard brigades close to Dobropolye, Kuritsino, Kucherov Yar, Lenina, Novoalexandrovka, Novi Donbass, Rubezhnoye, Svetloye, Shevchenko in the Donetsk People's Republic, and Ivanovka in the Dnepropetrovsk region. Over 255 Ukrainian troops, 4 armored fighting vehicles, 2 motor vehicles, and 1 US-made 155mm Paladin self-propelled artillery system have been neutralized. The East Group's units continued to advance to the depths of the enemy's defense. They inflicted losses on manpower and military hardware of 2 mechanized brigades, 4 air assault brigades, and 2 assault regiments of the Armed Forces of Ukraine close to Velikomikhailovka, Gavrilovka, Orly, Pokrovskoye, Chaplino in the Dnepropetrovsk region, Vozdvizhevka, Novosilovka, and Trudovoye in the Zaporozhye region. The armed forces of Ukraine lost more than 240 troops, 1 infantry fighting vehicle, and 6 motor vehicles. Units of the Dnieper Group of Forces inflicted losses on units of a mountain assault brigade and 2 territorial defense brigades close to Belinkoye, Novoalexandrovka, and Novomikhailovka in the Zaporozhye region. More than 50 Ukrainian troops, 2 armored fighting vehicles, 18 motor vehicles, 2 artillery guns, including a US-made 155mm M777 howitzer, and 1 electronic warfare station were neutralized. Operational tactical aviation, attack drones, missile troops, and artillery of the armed forces of the Russian Federation destroyed a German-made Leopard self-propelled anti-aircraft system and inflicted damage on fuel and power infrastructure facilities used for the interests of the armed forces of Ukraine, ammunition depots, assembly workshops, and storage areas of long-range unmanned aerial vehicles, as well as temporary deployment areas of Ukrainian armed forces and foreign mercenaries in 143 areas. Air defense systems shot down 4 guided aerial bombs and 780 fixed-wing unmanned aerial vehicles.
In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, the enemy has lost 671 aircraft, 284 helicopters, 149,623 unmanned aerial vehicles, 661 anti-aircraft missile systems, 29,383 tanks and other armored fighting vehicles, 1,723 MLRS combat vehicles, 35,011 field artillery guns and mortars, 62,065 units of support military vehicles.
Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.